But anyway, when we got to California, before we started working, we were invited out for dinner to our friends that we had met in Fort Worth,
Mm-hmm.
and it was to this house.
That's amazing.
So we were renting a house in the Hoy Shores,
Mm-hmm.
about a block or two from the beach,
Mm-hmm.
and it was fun.
Yeah, I bet it was.
And Beth Ann was in second grade, and Ricky was like 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before that, she had a year in the Loyal Country Day.
Yeah, when we
Well,
first
that was a
came
very
here.
nice school.
Loyal Country Day.
The first year, it was like the first 6 months, she would come home filthy from school. I said, are you working, are you teaching you outside, or what's happening? So we decided the La Jolla schools weren't good enough, so we enrolled her in Country Day School. And that was an experience for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I guess it was okay. I remember one of her friends was Dr. Monks? What's his name?
Dr. Monk, who is an oceanographer of Scripps.
Yeah.
They had the daughter Edie, and she and Edie got to be good friends.
Well, came for dinner here, and we were renting the house in La Jolla, and we were, we're gonna have to make a decision. And so we couldn't get our heads around anything else but this. And it was full of avocado groves. I mean, it was full of avocados.
I remember that. Well, the whole area was full of avocado
Yeah,
groves.
and our neighbors, they had 6 acres over here, 2 acres here, 1 acre there. We were the smallest yard in the house,
Mm-hmm.
and Park Del Mar wasn't built, the church wasn't built, those houses over there
It was
weren't built.
wonderful.
Those houses were all one large avocado grove, where your house is.
And the road down Nardo was a 2-lane road it was like a path. And if you heard someone coming up the hill, you ran out to see who it was.
Well, not quite.
I like those days.
It was,
Good old days.
and that was just an open area over there.
Yeah.
And then Park Del Mar started building. I think the first thing they built was that first apartment condominiums there. And by the way, it was I've heard this, I've never checked, but didn't they say this was the first PRD built in San Diego County?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Their zoning was different, of course. It varies from time to time as you go. But they had come up with something called a planned residential development, a PRD. A PRD 1 had a single house per dwelling unit. I mean per lot. A PRD 2 had 2 of them, a duplex, for example, and so on. And shall I take it on from there?
Well, make it short.
Okay. It was the 6 acres across the street was owned by Carrie and Bella Coughlin. Carrie was a real original. He was very bluff fellow and very
Good neighbor.
one of the best neighbors, yes. And he had come from he'd been in the Navy during the war, and he had a lot of experiences to mention. Some of which I will put on the record here.
No, I don't think so.
But he came to a point where he had to sell the place, to sell the 6 acres to and they finally they wanted the people wanted to develop that into apartments, the whole area in apartments.
Well, that's good.
And we really didn't want that. The neighbors didn't want that. So Fran and I organized a petition to do something else with it. And
To present it to the county.
Well, it was a county outfit then.
Yes.
And we were successful, but it cost us our friendship. So. But it ended up being single family housing. For a long time, that was just one big avocado grove. And Carrie's mother at one time lived with them and had a chicken ranch. She sold eggs to the public through a little vending machine, which was facing the street as you went down the street down Nardo. and you can stop there and put in your quarters and buy a dozen eggs. So,
Oh, when we first got here, the kids were all, not all of them, the youngest one, I guess, was in 4-H. And she had sheep and a pony. That was all in your backyard, right on the corner. And all the neighbor kids in the neighborhood were in 4-H and had sheep. So naturally, Ricky had to have a sheep. And I didn't know anything about sheep, so the first year that he was going to exhibit his sheep at the fair, I said, oh, you're so close, just walk it down. So he walked it down, and the poor sheep didn't make the weight.
Oh,
So we had to walk the dog, the lamb back up. But that was good, that was geranium.
Aw.
Because when we first got here, we didn't know what to do with geranium, and so we made a little fence over here. A neighbor came over and made the little fence, and the first thing geranium did was to jump in the geraniums. So that's
which
the
were
name.
there.
Which were there, but anyway,
Hence the name.
hence the name. So then we had the experience of getting geranium bread. Is that what you call it?
I
And
think
we had
that's
to
a good
find
word.
You had to have babies?
Yeah, and we had babies, and we had twins.
Aw.
So I can't remember. It was nasturtium and something else. It was always a flower.
But in 1942, there was a big housing shortage because all of the people were
War.
coming to San Diego for the war industries, and there wasn't any place to rent. So Mr. Holt converted the upstairs into an apartment by enclosing part of the outside
Gallery.
gallery around the outside. And he enclosed the outside up here to make a bathroom. So there's a shower in there, and there's a commode and a lavatory, and it's very cramped, but it works. And
Yeah, that was the first thing. Excuse me.
in fact, we had this was in '42. We had at one point a person came by who had rented it, wanted to see his old digs, and he said, "Well, you know, Mr. Holt," he says he left they rented the entire house also, but he says he at one point lived not too far away, and he'd come up and peek in the windows to make sure we weren't mistreating the house. So that kind of unnerved him, I think.
Sounds like my house.
But beyond that, we've remodeled. We remodeled in 1968, and then again in 2008. 1968 got a remodel to put on most of the back, the addition, the 2 back bedrooms, the laundry room, John and pantries. And then in 2008 we added the sunroom, which was where the deck is that you saw,
Okay.
and the back, and Frances' clothes closet. She got a clothes closet for all her walk-in closet. That's it.
A walk-in
She got
closet.
all her own. This is in 2008.
And a Costco closet.
Yeah, a Costco
And a
closet.
Costco closet.
And a utility closet.
So that's the story of the house.